new forms and structures that had been lacking in the lagoon.
From the fantastic to the magical and the box of delights, a startling story of good and evil. Patrick Troughton is the personification of good, and Robert Stevens has evil designs on his magic box.
For it will give me power. Power over all.
Trusted with the box's safekeeping, young Kay Harker enters a mysterious world of magic, and Radio Times explains how it's brought to life on the screen. When the wolves are running, who knows what might happen? The answers lie inside the box of delights and the new Radio Times.
The food and drink programme on BBC Two now asks whether fish and chip shops are going bust because of the new tax laws, and why the release of the Nouveau Beaujolais wine causes such excitement each year. Here on BBC Scotland, the last in our series of concerts given by the Battlefield Band at Glasgow's Pavilion Theatre, with their guest, Van Morrison.
His magic.
Before we do anything else, I'd like to introduce everybody in the band here, because I'm not sure if you know everybody that's up here. Over there playing the keyboards and singing and gyrating like nobody's business. Man born in Brigton, but spent most of his adult life, which was about 5 days, in Kirkintilloch. Alan Reid. That's enough. Wait a minute. That's enough. Don't swell his head any more. Gentleman here playing bagpipes and flute and all sorts of wind instruments and wearing a kilt is only befitting. A man from the wonderful metropolis of Barhead, Dougie Pincock. Over here we have Alistair Russell, who sings and plays guitar. Alistair's a sort of Geordie, but he's been to a few different places as well.
And that's Brian McNeil, when the least said about him, the better.
I'm Darby the tinker, and me brother is Tam. And we go where the work is, and we work wherever we can, with the mending and fixing. It's together we'll stay, intending our fortunes to try on the old changing way. And we come to your cities, and we call on your wives. Now we'll fix up your kettles, please, good missus, we'll sharpen your knives. And we always agreed, it's together we'd stay, intending our fortunes to try on the old changing way. But times they grew scanty, and money grew thin, and we worked for a song, but the money it didn't come in. Now brothers are kindred, but the hard times betray, and so we stumbled apart on the old changing way. And we never agreed to divide our tin. But when you're out of luck with your brothers, the hard times begin. Oh, the spikes and the brothels, that's so shameful to see. But don't you travel alone now, boys. This warning you must take by me. You must share with your nearest till the end of your days, or else it's forever you'll roam the old changing way. Or else it's forever you'll roam the old changing way.
A couple of months ago, we met two guys who had just come back from Argentina. And they weren't soldiers, they were in fact football supporters who'd been there since 1978 at the World Cup, you see. We asked them what they had been doing there all this time, and it transpired that although Scotland had done dismally badly at football, they had in fact succeeded very well in dancing. And these guys had been going around South America collecting local folklore and sort of exchanging Scottish dances with South American dances. And they came back with this one and asked us if we would put the music for it. It's a sort of distant relative of the Strathspey, and it's called a Strath Samba.
da-da-da-da-da.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we don't normally do these sort of shows. We normally do very, very sort of straight concerts. But the nice thing about doing a show like this is, in fact, that we can have guests on. And, of course, we're very excited about that because a lot of these people are people that we've admired for many, many years. And it's a great pleasure for us to be able to bring them on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a big hand for Van Morrison.
I'll be waiting, waiting on that shore to hear cry for home. You won't have to worry anymore when you hear cry for home. When you hear the call, you won't have to think at all. When you hear the cry for home, I'll be standing within reach for you. When you hear, I'll be waiting in the breach when you hear the call. When you hear the call, you won't have to think at all. When you hear the cry for home, When I listen to the song, well, it makes me feel so free. And you tell me you will come and go with me when you hear cry for home. When you hear the call, you won't have to think at all. When you hear the cry for home, when you hear the call, you won't have to think at all. When you hear the cry for home, when you hear the cry for home, when you hear the cry for home, when you hear the cry for home.
This is a song written by Joe Curry, and it's about ordinary people, and it's called I Am the Common Man.
I am the common man.
I am the fool, the despised. I am the brute and the slave. I am the tool in their eyes. From the cradle to the grave. From the cradle to the grave. I am the common man. I am the hewer. I am the common man. I am the tiller of soil. I am the serf of the seas, born to bear and to toil, born to bear and to toil. I am the common man, but masters of mine take heed, for you have put into my head many wicked deeds. I am the builder of halls, I am the dweller of slums, I am the filth and the scourge when depression comes, when winter's depression comes. I am the fighter of wars, I am the killer of men, not for a day or an age, but again and again and again and again and again and again. I am the common man, born to bear and I am the common man.
Well, it's been very nice to see you all here tonight. Nice to be back in Glasgow, especially at the Pavilion. We'd like to thank, first of all, our guests this evening, Artie McGlynn and Van Morrison. And here we go. And we're going to finish off now with a hornpipe and two jigs. The hornpipe is called Ina Mackenzie, and the jigs are called The Braes of Melanish and Troy's Wedding.
Thank you very much.